say lead vocals?
Well, all of us sing,
do,
really.
Yeah,
Oh,
we all do leads on certain tracks.
That's
great.
We're all lead vocalists.
Nice.
The same way, I don't drink a lot.
Sure,
And that's
yeah.
surprising because, like, I'm English, Irish, and German and stuff, so, like, I should drink a lot more, but I don't.
Yeah, you actually put me on an alcohol limit before shows now, right? You gotta
I was born in Seattle, but I was born right across the street from a cemetery.
People are dying to get in there.
I haven't heard that one.
Oh, man.
I saw Jackson doing the 9/11. Where were you when the world stopped turning?
Yeah.
Right? I said I want a black guitar because it's my birthday. I had no idea what I wanted. And everybody kept asking, "What do you want? What do you want? What do you want?" I said, "Just give me a black guitar." Because Alan looked pretty cool up there doing it.
So you're 12, you're learning drums, you've got these inspirations. One of them's super real and the other one is fictional?
Yes.
Why don't you guys tell the fans, who
Yeah.
do we got here? This is 31 Nights. Let's welcome them.
31 Nights of
Hello,
Seattle.
everybody.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
I'm Trevor. I'm the guitarist.
My name is Nick Alexander. That's my stage name, and I am the everything in this band.
Yes, he is.
I do lead, backing vocals, keyboards, and bass. I used to do rhythm guitar, but
That was long ago.
yeah.
That's a story for another night.
So you say lead vocals?
well, all of
I
us sing,
do,
really.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
great.
all do leads on certain tracks.
That's
Oh, great.
true.
We're all lead vocalists.
Nice. Well, when we
better or
perform
worse?
later, we can set up the mics however we need to, but
Of course.
should have
we'll
enough.
need three
They'd
of
probably say I have the best voice, though.
He does.
Yeah,
he does. He wins.
does. Yeah, Nick is classically trained.
All right, well, Nick, the classically trained, do it all in the band.
Well, the way he plays bass and keys, he's basically Geddy Lee.
That's
He's
what I-
he's
that's
got
what-
the vocal chops for it as well.
That's what I was assuming when he said that. I was like, I know
Yeah.
one. I don't know. And then we got Trevor, and we
Trevor,
got
yeah.
Dominic. who
How you doing?
must be-
Sometimes I go by Dave or Domino for short.
Gotcha. Dave, Domino, Dominic.
Or you can just call me Dave tonight.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah,
All right,
it is a 3-man band. We've gone through quite a few members. I think this all started with Dominic, right?
Yeah, it was me and Aram back when we were called the Somethings. Trevor and I are pretty much the only two consistent members.
Right. Yeah, I think 2, 3, 4 other people have come through.
Yeah, it's
Where'd you run into Nick?
Nick was via a former member, right? The
Yes.
former bassist introduced us to Nick, right? You all knew each
Yeah,
other.
and then I...
Bass players do all know each other.
You all were doing the
all hang out
Comic-Con
together.
thing, and
yeah.
all
My
the-
father's a bassist, and he's never met Sting or Geddy Lee or Paul McCartney.
Yeah, no, I got so lucky last year. I was in well, first, let me just say I was in I used to be the bassist and keyboards in a band called Waking Maya, and I was a part of their first album, which was just called Waking Maya. So a lot of creativity there. But now speaking of meeting people, I got really lucky last year on my birthday. I was in Vegas for vacation, and I was coming home from dinner, and I was staying at the Mirage, and I'm walking back towards the elevators to, go back up to my room, and who else do I see at the at one of the roulette tables? Dominic Miller, Sting's guitarist. I had to get, I got a photo with him, and I got an autograph. It's like he was such a sweet man. Like,
Really?
How
Yeah,
many
mine-
people would recognize him?
Well, that reminds me.
Oh,
of,
that's probably why I was stoked. Yeah.
yeah, he's got a distinctive face though.
Well, that reminds me back in 2018 when I met the one and only Bruce Hornsby, the best piano player of all time.
Yeah.
Elton John, eat your heart out.
That's awesome, man.
I saw him at the Admiral in Bremerton, and I actually snuck backstage to meet him. And here's the thing: I'm 6'4". I am not a short man by any chance. But Bruce, oh my God, he's got to be about 6'10".
Whoa.
He's huge.
So now you know how it feels for the rest of us.
I guess I got a friend in Minnesota who's about the same height he's like a giant.
Yeah. So you're like, I'm just an average height at
But
6'4".
yeah, Bruce, I can't believe I actually got to meet him. It was pretty cool.
That's great. Remind me of the bands/songs he's famous for, because I totally know who
He did
is.
that song the way it is, the one Tupac sample, the one with the piano parts. But he's got way better songs than that.
I'm gonna check him out.
Oh
after
my
this.
God, yes, that's just his radio hit.
For sure.
Yeah,
You got to have a radio hit,
I guess.
or it helps. Do you guys write original music?
Mostly,
Everything
yes.
is original, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And how long has it been this combination, the three?
Since
maybe-
about 2020, about early 2021.
I mean, you have the COVID pause in there, but yeah, it's
The COVID
early
pause?
20 Pause.
Yeah.
I was like, you had at least two Pauls in the band?
We were still a 4-piece in 2020, but it was kind of a dead year that year.
Yeah.
Sure was.
Well, I think that's kind of how it was for everyone.
Sure
Right,
was.
right.
I had like, it's weird. My calendar on my phone, it's starting to get booked up. You know, it has been for a little while now.
Right.
And I just swiped back 1 year ago and it was nothing on the books. And I'm like, dude, I forgot how long that was. And
Right.
people were like, we were coming back, but people were offering half as much money to do the gigs, and I'm taking them because I'm not going to get a regular job because I'm
Right.
stubborn,
Right.
yeah, et cetera, et cetera.
Yep.
So you guys have been going for 3 years, 4 years maybe.
In this configuration, you could say. So
configuration,
the original band, the Somethings, that him and I kind of started with I'm not going to name names just for privacy reasons.
Sure.
That started in 2017. And so it's been a long
It's
road.
been a while.
Yeah.
It's tough when other people leave too, because they take with them.
There's
their
just a
songs
lot of
and-
drama too, you know how it
drama
goes.
stuff.
And their energy, like,
Yeah.
it's a different band. The biggest example I can think of is I had this drummer who played a certain song a totally different way that I didn't like because I wrote it, and you know how it goes when you write a song and you put the drum machine to it, and then you change it and you write the drums.
Right.
And I play drums. I have drums, I should say. I have drums, so I knew how I wanted it, and he played it different.
Yeah.
And after a while, you know, you start getting in the groove, and then that guy left, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, well, then what even are these songs anymore? That was like his energy made the song.
Right.
At this point, now it's just the stupid riff that I was
Yeah.
gonna die on that hill.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got it in the grooves though. You
Like
recorded
our
it, right?
our ex bassist was a drummer as well, and him and I butted heads a
Oh
lot.
no, yeah.
And as much as I hate to admit it, he's actually better than me, so I really can't. I really can't argue with the guy.
That's
Definitely a talented singer, songwriter, and performer for sure.
Don't you hate that? Hate
Yes.
that? You butt head. That's the same with this drummer I was talking about. We butt heads a lot.
Right.
Yeah, but he was the best drummer I've played with. So
Yeah.
Hey, butthead.
yeah,
Yeah, I wish there was a magic
am
pill we could all
Cornholio.
swallow, but
yeah.
it just
Are you
doesn't work out
threatening me?
sometimes. But yeah, all the music's original. We all three write. I think
That's cool. That's unique so far for all the bands we've interviewed. We've done 10 or 20 bands or whatever, but it's usually a lead guy, and then
In
I think
fact,
some people sing as well. But you guys are all like, we're all our own entity here, coming together. And
yeah.
Well,
sounds like a
we
real
try to make
trio.
sure everything works for everyone. You know,
Sure.
any song ideas, it's got to work for everyone. Wouldn't you guys agree?
okay,
Absolutely.
run me
Yeah.
a day.
It's a pretty.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say I actually wrote my first full-length song with this band.
Tight.
I'm actually a big like video game music aficionado, and
Tight.
I write a lot of video game music stuff like NES and stuff. But my first actual studio song was written after I joined the band.
What was
And
that? What
I did
song
that
was
for
it?
my solo career. It was a song called "I Love You More," which was really hugely inspired by a band called Pilot, and you might know them from "Oh Ho Ho, It's Magic."
Yeah,
But
one
they
of
do
the
a
best
lot
songs of all time.
That
yeah.
song was on the radio on the way here.
I was playing it on my phone. Yeah, that's why.
Yeah.
Hey, there's
But,
certain songs that come on that I always think like, is this like top 10 best songs of all time? Like that, and like I'm walking on sunshine. I'm like, they play this everywhere all the time. I'm
Right.
like, anyway,
Every rom com.
songs are just like, you know these songs, and then the Magic one, I actually enjoy that. I'll listen to it if it comes on.
So yeah, I mean, I did that for my solo career, but then like the band liked it, so we play that and we play some of my other stuff too. So
Yeah.
I like to share that with them.
Okay,
So.
run me through a day, like a writing day. Like who brings the idea, or if someone, I'll let you guys start.
Honestly, most of our best songs are written by Trevor here, and I think he's easily the best songwriter out of all of us.
Yeah, I enjoy it. I'd say that the songs actually involve, like sometimes we'll show up and we'll have a chorus or something that's kind of going around in our head, and then we'll just put a groove to it, get out a guitar, get a piano line or something, and then it takes on a structure, like a typical structure, and then we'll play it live.
Then it kind of creates itself. Maybe.
every week.
the ball
we
rolls
rehearse
down
it
the hill.
exactly,
Yeah.
and it becomes this whole thing.
Sidebar: do you guys want a beer? I have beer.
I'm good
It's
to
similar
go.
to that.
What kind you
Here,
got?
let me show you.
All right.
Nick, are you going to have one considering you're driving?
So I have
If that's all they have, that's fine.
these options.
Ooh, I'll take a Renair. Oh, my God.
boy.
Oh, yeah, that's...
And then I have an icicle and then one of them rogues. I don't know what either of them. They're like very.
They're both really good.
This one says German chocolate cake.
Yeah, icicle's where it's at. If you spare the icicle, I'll have that one next.
Thank you very much. What was your name again?
Me? I'm Taylor.
Taylor, I'm sorry. I'm bad with names.
No worries, dude.
That's easy to remember, like the guitar brand.
But no on the beer. You're good on beer.
For now.
Cool.
I might get thirsty later though.
It's the only beverage I have to offer, so I wanted to make sure
Well, at least
I
I'm
offered
sure
it.
you got
Yeah.
water. I'm sure.
Yeah, I could get you some.
I have something to drink in my
some tap
car,
water.
but
All
I
right.
forgot to bring it in.
Cool. Well, yeah, like I was saying to Trevor earlier, my dad gives me beers, but I don't really drink beers anymore. I don't know if I'm not really an alcoholic, but it like wasn't serving me,
Got it.
and I don't have the heart to tell him because we like bond over beers and stuff. So he just
I
keeps.
spent a lot of my growing up years. I spent a lot of my
So he
growing up
doesn't see
years
this
in
podcast.
Texas. Beer is a big deal down there.
Cool.
Like
So
King of the Hill is very true to life.
Right. I definitely have beer culture in my soul, for
Got it.
sure.
Yeah, I hear you on that one. That's I learned in COVID to take things in moderation. I was drinking way. I had that Total Wine membership and just racked
getting
them
out
up,
there.
man.
Hell yeah.
Scotches and whiskeys and stuff. It was tough.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. I don't drink a lot unless like we're at a gig, because that's usually all they have.
Sure,
And that's
yeah.
surprising because like I'm English, Irish, and German and stuff. So like
gotta throw 'em back.
I should drink a lot more, but I don't.
Yeah,
You're required.
that's fair, dude.
Yeah, you actually put me on an alcohol limit before shows now, right? I got like a
Well, that was for the drummer. I mean, come on.
yeah.
Dude, judging just by your banter of 15 or less minutes of us hanging out, it does seem like you guys are a council as opposed to any sort of lead guy.
Yeah, it's
yeah,
we do.
I
He
agree to
reached
that,
out and
yes.
texted to me, and he has like the energy of the lead guy, and he goes, "I'm drums." I'm like, okay, all right, hold on. This other guy's the lead guy, but you have the songs. They all.
Yeah, it
You're
kinda
the songs,
meshes, right?
It's pretty cool. It's awesome to hear, honestly. It's
Right.
really,
Yeah,
really
it's
cool.
it's like the later Queen stuff, like when they started attributing everything to just Queen instead of like individual songwriting credits.
Oh,
yeah,
right.
we're all like, none of us is really the band leader. We're kind of like all equals, and
That's
that's
cool.
awesome.
Yeah, there's not a lot of ego in the
So
band for sure.
in the last 3 years, no butting heads in this group right here that led to any breakup. Obviously,
No, I mean,
Oh, surprisingly.
I mean, we have disagreements,
Sure.
sure, but we know how to work things out here.
How?
Yeah.
Why don't you share with me and the audience, how do you work out a disagreement in music land when you're all lead and you all have egos to compete?
Yeah.
I don't know. Ask
yeah.
Fleetwood Mac about that.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
I guess,
I don't
yeah.
have a magic bullet for that.
Right. Yeah, no, it is tough, but every band is different, and it's fun to kind of dive into all that stuff.
Right.
Last gig you guys played.
Oh shit, where was that?
It's been a couple months because like I went on
Funhouse? Is that
vacation and then his
Yeah,
wife
Funhouse is where we
Funhouse,
last
yeah.
played.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we were at the
Yeah.
Funhouse in Seattle. That was pretty cool.
That was the,
Who was on that bill?
Phantom. Was Phantom on the bill that night?
yeah. What was their name? Darn
Pen-
it, I'm drawing a blank. I'd have to look through our records.
That's fine if it comes
Yeah,
to
there
it.
were 4 bands that night.
This
One-
Friday we're
It's
playing
so
at
hard to remember all the bands.
This
you played.
Friday we're playing at Bad Bar. It's kind of near the Space Needle,
Tight.
like around South Lake Union.
Yeah.
Tight.
I think Fifth Avenue.
Yeah, it's on
Oh,
Fifth, I believe.
by the way, this comes out in like 2 weeks. So if you have anything to plug, keep that in mind.
Okay. Okay, well then I should say by the time you hear this, that'll have already happened.
It went great.
Right.
We were all
Also, great
there.
job.
Fantastic.
We fucking partied. We blacked out. It was crazy. Should have been there.
That's right.
Anyway,
Yes,
yeah.
I know. Well,
Previous,
Panic Fancy was there. Have you heard of them?
Panic Fancy. No, I love that name though.
Yeah, they're
they're-
pretty cool. Their drummer Raoul and I are pretty tight.
What kind of tunes do they play? What kind of
Just
music?
like indie and alt rock, basically. They're kind of in the same neighborhood as us, I guess.
Sure.
Yeah,
Well, maybe not
that's-
neighborhood, same solar system.
That's what my next question was. What do you guys tag genres, like stereotypical genres that you have to use to sell your music? What would that be?
Just rock and
Alt
roll.
rock.
Good old good old.
Okay,
Yeah.
And nothing is truly off the table.
Sure.
If anything,
Now we'll get to the real question. What do you guys feel about your music? What genre do you feel like it is? Like,
I think when you run through the set list, you feel them all.
Yeah.
I feel
Yeah.
everything
Yeah.
from country to rock to alt rock to
Like
a little bit of.
we're from Seattle, so it's got to grunge has to be a thing.
Of course,
Of
yeah.
course. Listen,
and I'm into it, dude.
Yeah, it's a smorgasbord.
And if it sounds good, anything goes.
Right. If a good song, good. Yeah.
Does not if everything sounds the same, then you're just AC/DC.
That's right. Yeah, they already covered that.
Yeah, we try to take a journey every night. Like
good.
If we play, we try to like.
For those watching,
go
click
through
here
the
to
emotions.
watch the journey because they're going to perform a little later, and I'll have the video up. And
Now,
if
when this
I'm
is
good,
posted, when this is posted,
be
is
right
it just
there.
going to be audio, or is our actual video?
There is video, yeah. So it'll be on
That's
YouTube
awesome.
and Spotify. So this camera, that camera, and this camera. Those are the three. And so if you want to do any shout outs, stare right into your camera across from you. Very fun. It's the only
Jeez.
podcast move I've learned so far. Yo, shout out. Make sure you guys check out BandHouse Studios on Patreon. That's patreon.com/BandHouse Studios, where you have extra credit videos. You can check it out there.
Look at that.
Woo!
I did. Hi, Mom.
Yeah. Thanks. Shout out to my
you doing?
Aunt Tina.
Hey, everybody.
Yeah.
Ogenki desu ka?
Yeah, I don't know. I'd feel like the band, the genre would be pretty monotone if it wasn't for me. I feel like I brought a lot of random things.
If
that
I had to
kinda
narrow it
challenged the
down, I would
group.
say maybe you could almost call us blues rock to a certain extent.
Yeah.
Fair.
Maybe,
I know, I always
or-
say, I say that sometimes
Yeah.
because it's like guitar music with bends. I don't know,
Yeah.
like
guess.
solos,
Or maybe
Right.
just
So blues.
I know it's a pretty wide label, but you could just say alt rock. I
Yeah,
mean,
alt-
that's a
alt-rock
pretty
works.
wide. That's a pretty wide spectrum. You know,
Right.
it almost doesn't mean anything
But Nick-
anymore.
That's how I feel about
can come up
indie.
with cool stuff.
yeah.
too.
Oh my god.
I'm
yes.
just, as far as genres, I'm like a musical explorer sailing
like
the seas of
I feel
music.
like you know every-
Like I try
theme song.
everything. That's a huge piece of advice that I have for musicians. Like, don't just stick to one genre. Like, explore
Absolutely.
everything.
I
and
would
just-
agree with that. Absolutely. My musical career is my most, not career even because that implies money and all that, but like my musical journey of learning different genres
Yeah.
is my most valued thing in life. So
Right,
learn
exactly.
all the other things. Don't just stick to metal.
Yeah.
I say that because that's
Yeah.
usually the genre that sticks to the one thing.
But I'd say
Shots
too,
fired. What?
The interesting thing is that a lot of the music is just three chords and the truth. You know, a lot of it's pretty straightforward stuff.
I've got that book.
You know,
That
Yeah,
Willie-
was
Willie
I mean, you
Nelson?
never guess it. I mean, Trevor, you may play the same chords, but you do it in ways that most people wouldn't catch. You know, you make the most of them. You know,
Yeah.
That's
at
even
least that's
better,
how
yeah.
I see
Yeah.
it.
Because if you can take the basic boring chords and make them good, you're a superstar.
Yeah. Well, I
level.
think it's the lyrics. To be honest,
That's all.
with
That
you.
yeah,
Like,
that's all it really
right.
is.
Yeah.
I'm not a lyrics guy, like by
Yeah.
nature. You know, there's
Right.
always like people who
Right.
gravitate to like they hear the whole story of the song right away lyrically, and I don't.
Right.
Ever. Someone's like,
Right.
"Semi-charmed kind of life is a depressing song." I'm
Right.
like, "Really?
Yeah.
How is that possible?"
I'm in the new order. I know all about, lyrics and music not matching. Seriously.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
lyrics to any given New Order or Joy Division song are depressing compared to the music, okay?
I think that it's kind of fun. It's a fun way to. It's a fun take. It's an interesting take.
Yeah, it's funny you said that because we hear that a lot too. After shows, people
Yeah.
will come up and say, "Hey, I like that thing you did or this thing you did," and it's like, "Oh yeah, and lyrics. I don't know about the lyrics. I just want to hear the music. You know, that's why I'm here tonight."
Yeah, I always wonder on regular. I don't know, regular people. That's probably offensive. Regular people, muggles, and then musicians.
Yeah, right.
Like, if people like in a group of musicians, do they tend to think more lyrically or musically? And then a group of just regular people, do they think? Like, I don't know what it is. I asked that question. It's a generic question, and most people probably are somewhere in the middle. But I'm not. I'm like, I'll hear a song 100,000 times and not realize that he killed his wife in the third verse.
Right. Which is
I'll
what we
have
do.
no
every,
idea.
Oh my
every
God,
song, we
In
kill
the air
somebody.
tonight.
But
Okay.
when I do notice it, I appreciate.
Yeah.
And I love it. And I've got a Hank Williams book on
Yeah.
display.
But
I
because
remember when I was
love
like,
it.
Right.
I remember when I was like 12. That's when I first started listening to the Police, and I'm sure Nick here, being a Sting fan, knows all about this. The song "Don't Stand So Close to Me."
Love it.
Yeah, when I got older, when I was a kid, I thought, oh, this is kind of a fun song. When I got older and looked at the lyrics, I was like, holy fucking jumping shit
I
balls.
still don't know. To me, it's COVID anthem.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's about a teacher having an affair with his student. That's what that
sounds
song's
right.
about.
I feel
Yeah.
I feel like that's on brand for Sting. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
And I don't even know what that
Absolutely.
means, but
Absolutely.
it feels right.
Yeah.
I mean, he did do that song "Every Breath You Take."
That's all.
There
Yeah,
it
that's
is.
a
That's what it
that's a
is.
stalker song. It's not a love song.
That's what it is.
I know.
for
I remember Sting saying, like, I've had people tell me that they got married to that song, and I just tell them, "Good luck."
sure. Yeah, it's not lost on him. Yeah, that it would be weird to have that is like a serious anthem. Or what about Jack White? What's his White Stripes? What about that Seven Nation Army?
Yeah,
That's
right.
transcended
Yeah.
popularity, dude. That's
Yeah.
that's the new what what's that? It's like a soccer anthem now.
Right.
It's the new
I swear, I get
It's
that.
wild.
I swear that song is so easy to play on drums. It's boring.
It's my first song on drums.
Oh yeah. Oh,
I
my.
appreciated every
I could
little.
show
Now the
someone-
hi-hat comes in.
I could show someone who has never played drums before how to play that song in an hour.
That's the idea, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
That's what he was going for.
I guess.
Because of the right hand that follows the kick drum. Dun, dun. That's the. It's like, well, you're not.
Yeah, pretty much.
But like if you cover the song without dun dun dun, if you do, it's just wrong.
I think
Right,
the
Can't
White
keep a
Stripe
good groove. It's
the
wrong.
White Stripe song that
right.
hit the biggest chord with me was what was it? Air Near My Fingers. When she comes around, oh, when she comes around, oh, when she.
I
That
don't
one.
even know if I know
That
that.
I think that was off. What was the album? It was like all red on the cover.
Yeah, I don't know the name. I never delved
No, it
deep.
wasn't. It wasn't Icky Thump. It was the one before that. I think.
That song is wild.
So you haven't picked up yet Dominic's an encyclopedia.
That's dope.
Yeah, I guess.
He'll
That's
go
dope.
It
With
just,
that
a lot
kinda
of times
hair.
I just find myself nodding my
I
head.
guess.
You know?
Yeah, but
Okay,
the Frank
I'll
Zappa hair.
let these two. I'll let these two talk for now.
Well, let it flow, man.
I don't talk
Let it
a whole
flow.
lot. I sing more than I talk.
Yeah.
That's always that's their main, not struggle, I don't want to say, or hurdle or anything negative. That's our main like thing we focus on here at BandHouse Podcast. It's like there's a reason there's not a lot of musician podcasts because it's like, well, we would rather be playing music, I think, than talking about
Yeah,
it.
right.
But it's like, I don't know, this is what I've wanted to do, and it's
Right,
been a
man.
weird, interesting journey. You meet a lot of people, and everybody feels the same. Like, I don't feel uncomfortable at all around you guys, and I wonder if it's just because I know that you're musicians, or like you come in, you're like, cool gear, we talk about the gear, and next thing you know, we're already talking.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen in my day-to-day life. I kind of like don't gel with the muggles.
Is it the Seattle freeze has made its way south? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm frozen down here. I'm notoriously frozen.
that right?
No, so instead of going out to shows to meet
Right.
people, I invite them
Right.
to BandHouse Studios.
Yeah, right.
Because I don't want to leave because I have a cooler down here with energy drinks in it. Anyway, I've lost my train of thought.
Well, no, I think that's a good point. I think that's something that's also pretty unique to Seattle. We're all from different places, except Nick. I think you're in Bothell, right? Not too far away.
I know how you feel. I feel most at home just in my apartment with my cats, my train table, and my Switch. And I'm set.
I was born in
I'm-
Seattle, but I was born
dig
right
it.
across the street from a cemetery.
Okay.
Oh,
Oh,
really?
that's ominous.
They put you together like Frankenstein. Is that what happened?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, he was born with that balance. That
Yeah,
yin-yang.
cemeteries. People are dying to get in there.
I haven't heard that one.
Oh, man. Oh, Dominic.
But no, that's the unique thing is like every neighborhood's different. It comes with like a different audience every single night, which is beautiful. Like you know,
Right.
we have our preferences, I'm sure. Like, but you know, like West Seattle is fantastic. There's always like a solid crowd there. Cap Hill's its own thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the South Lake Union area is always unique. And then of course, you know that Seattle itself. There's just so many venues there with so many different types of crowds.
So you talked about the Funhouse. I actually know of the Funhouse.
Yeah, fun.
I've played there
Yeah.
twice. Twice. One of them was cool though. So the other one was like, all right.
Yeah, what happened last time we had a
We were
The
there.
math-
we
the
were there
math group,
twice.
right?
Well, we were there. I'm sorry. Say that again.
they had a like the national math tournament or something was in Seattle that same
remember
night,
that.
and there was a high school from college from Southern California that won the thing,
Nice.
and
But,
they all showed up right at the start of our set, and they were just ready to go. Just like I felt so bad for them because I think they meant to walk west, but they hit it east.
Oh,
So you're saying San Diego has the smartest mathematicians
Hell if
in
I
the
know.
country?
Hell if I know.
That's wild.
Yeah.
I
wouldn't
know.
guess.
Well,
The sun is out there. Why?
I have no idea.
the first time we played at Funhouse was actually in 2019, back when we were October nights as a 4-piece, and that. Oh my God, that gig was. Oh, one thing that time it was so hot in there. I'm surprised I didn't run out of sweat.
Dude, that's right.
And this time we played at it a couple months ago. They actually got that fixed.
Oh, God.
Both times we were there, I managed to hit my head on the overhead AC.
Oh my God. Well, that's like a bittersweet moment.
Was it by Reznor?
You're like, I have a concussion, but boy, does my skin feel good.
The Coffin was there with us.
Yeah,
too.
the Coffin
Coffin's
was there,
fantastic
yeah.
band. Great.
Sweet
group of
name.
guys.
Or there was this one guy who was just a solo act with an acoustic guitar.
Phantom Pines.
Yeah,
Phantom
something Pines.
Dude, that's
Yeah,
hard to pull that off.
I have them
too.
on my Spotify because I like the
Yeah.
one song he did.
Yeah, but there's
That's amazing,
There's two
then.
Coffins out there. I think there's a guy group and a girl group called the Coffins.
Hold on, just to go back. to the solo acoustic guy who actually got a fan singing solo acoustics. I didn't want to breeze over that because that's really hard to do.
Oh yeah,
I forget his name, but I
didn't have a
remember he was
band, he's
actually
just
a
one guy.
last minute. Someone else was supposed to play.
Yeah.
They had to pull out. He was like the last minute replacement. You remember that?
That's
yeah. He came in. And he did
that's
his
wild.
Thing
What
too.
was it? What was his name again? You said
I don't
damn.
remember, but
Phantom
he was
I'd have to
Pines
pull it
was
up on Spotify.
something Pines, but he was pretty cool.
His group, I believe, was Phantom Pines.
we had a guy in here last week or 2 weeks ago. What was his name? John from Trusty Sea Creatures, and he kind of crushed. And the only audience was me and my buddy, and we were just like looking at each other like. And he's only one guitar and a vocalist, but he had a nice belt, like a really clean, quiet but intense belt.
Right.
And he also tuned his guitar to like open C sharp or something, which
stuff,
gave it
yeah.
a unique,
Right, of
awesome
course,
open
yeah,
tuning.
right,
and he
right.
rocked, and I was like, "That's cool."
It might have been him. To be honest with you.
That'd be so tight if it was him. That's kind of the reason I stopped. I'm like, hold on, that's so hard to do.
Yeah, that's his name, the Phantom Pines.
Phantom Pines. Shout out to Phantom Pines, dude, for actually doing the thing.
Yeah, right. Yeah, he gave us a little
I think
stickers.
it was the song he did called. I don't remember. He did a song that I really liked, and it's probably the one that's on here. If I Should Fall from Grace.
Tight. That's a fair shout out. Now, Phantom Pines or whatever. Get a band. Imagine what you could do with a band.
yeah.
Just kidding. You're doing your thing.
I'm
You
I'm
do
glad
you,
that
baby.
And if it works for him, he just
what I'm saying.
does what works for him.
Yeah,
And if he
right,
wants
yeah,
to be
let it be.
solo, let him be it.
Yeah,
Exactly.
He had his CDs and stuff. He's
And then I have my
doing
own
stuff.
solo thing on Spotify too, which is
Yeah, Nick polishes up his songs and puts them out there.
Why not, dude? I love doing that because it's done. You did it. You're a musician now, baby. Woo!
it's like and I do all the. I do all the instruments and the mixing and stuff because it's all done out of my room.
Yep.
And I just find that fascinating. Like if you told like went back to the 50s and told Buddy Holly, someday you're going to be able to record even better quality music in your own
Crazy.
room.
Yeah.
It's like
It's crazy. Yeah. Just like even I'm only 33, 34, one of those two. And it was so hard even just getting the DAWs installed back in my day, getting the getting the MacBook Pro to work and like
Updates.
and it was infinitely harder before that.
Right.
Where you have to actually perform good because you got to go back and
Right.
use the tape or whatever. You
Yep.
can't like I've recorded so many takes and you don't get that much better
Right.
after the 10th or
For us, it's always the
100th
first
take.
take.
Yeah.
It's always the
Yeah, we always
How
do.
often
Yeah,
is
we
the
always do
second
best
even
the
better?
first
Yeah.
time. I don't get it.
When we get a new idea, I record it on the phone, and I just for months after just point back to that very first take where you did something on the drums. Or you
That's
did
the
something on
energy. You
key.
captured the
Just like,
intent of the song.
Shit, we can't recreate it,
Yeah, I totally
a
know what you're
challenge.
talking about.
And then
Well,
it just starts to sound too polished.
Well, speaking of recording, we're hoping this winter-ish we could, or an EP is in our goals. Wouldn't you two
It's
say
like it's
so?
overdue, just to kind of like memorialize the last few years, just of what we've put down.
Well, one of the songs we're playing tonight will be on that. The two songs we're playing, "Lonely Night" and "California." "Lonely Night" will absolutely be on that EP because I believe that is.
So Dominic does all the planning. He knows what songs we're gonna play.
Right.
Well, I mean,
So-
yeah, I kind of manage.
like a PR manager.
I de facto manage
He's
this
like,
band.
play
Sure,
this,
sure.
George.
Yeah, what is the name? What is it like the idea person, like the direction? Director.
All of
There
us
we
really.
go.
All of us really.
Yeah, no, that's cool,
Yeah.
man. I
No,
love that.
Dominic. Yeah, you pull it together pretty well.
Well, I'd be nothing without
All
you
the
too.
booking and stuff. Yeah.
Well, let's go. I want to go down individually. Let's start with Nick, just down the line. Tell us about when you started falling in love with music. Like, when did you start playing?
oh my god,
And what instrument did you start on? Hold on, let me guess.
no. I've loved music ever since I can remember. In fact, I don't know if the VHS still exist, but there's like tapes
remember
of me and my
those.
It's got to be
sister.
keyboard, right? It's got to be piano.
It's like
VHS, I
tapes of
remember
me and my
those.
sister when we were really little playing along, like hitting like coffee pot stuff to Alice in Chains Unplugged.
Tight.
So
That's pretty tight.
And if you told me 20 years later I'd be able to play that front to back and guitar, I wouldn't have believed you.
That's dope.
But that's how I got into guitar was Jerry Cantrell.
Really?
I like hearing his stuff because I grew up with Alice in Chains, and it's like I want to play like that guy. I actually got to meet him once, and I completely embarrassed myself in front of him because they were doing a signing at Best Buy. And I have this on my YouTube channel on video, and it's like I couldn't think of anything to ask him. So I was like, you think I should cut my hair? And he's like, that's up to you, man. It's like,
Oh my god, that's so funny.
but
That's not too embarrassing. It's embarrassing enough. But he got you. He's like, whatever you want. You know, he didn't just say that's a stupid question or whatever.
yeah, no.
Which really would have ruined
It's
it.
really cool. Like,
Yeah.
and then for keyboards, that would have been Kevin Hearn from the Bare Naked Ladies, because I grew up with Stunt and Maroon, and especially on Maroon, I really love his work, especially the B-sides and stuff. And as far as bass, well, the answer's on my bass because I have the Sting signature bass, so it's like he's got his autograph there on the 12th fret.
Tight. That's tight.
But yeah, and that was probably when I was like around 18, and I grew up with Sting as well. I didn't know he was a bassist, and I was like, oh man, I got to play bass now.
Yeah.
And I really respect him too. I think that's where I get my variation with the musical styles too, is from him. But
Absolutely.
Also-
He actually plays other styles. He respectfully plays the other, you know, it's not like a metal guy just doing clean tone going jazz.
Yeah.
You know, he really does the things. His drummer helps.
Yeah.
Whose name is a name I shouldn't forget.
Vinny Colaiuta,
Is that who it is?
not currently,
Stuart
but
Copeland.
Stuart Copeland.
Well, that was in
the
the
name.
Police.
But
I don't care.
I shouldn't have forgotten
they're
either of
both
those
really
names.
I
good,
don't care
though.
if he's a fellow drummer.
Fact
Stuart
check.
Copeland's kind of an ass at
Is
times.
he?
He is. I've heard.
I think I've heard that too, yeah.
I mean,
That
he's
sounds
good,
right.
no question about it.
Did you know he did the music for Spyro the Dragon?
Yes, he did.
The what?
At
Spyro
game
the Dragon.
Spyro.
Oh.
PlayStation.
very
Oh,
Remember that
cool.
show, the Amanda Show? I think he did the music for that.
Those are both dope things from my childhood. I didn't play Spyro, but I remember wanting to play it.
I
had a
didn't play
Nintendo.
anything.
I was
played
more of a
NASCAR
Sonic
98.
kid growing up than Spyro.
Sonic?
Yes,
Played
Sonic,
some
Mario.
I'll
yeah.
do a Sonic. I'm a Mario though. I don't know. Yep.
Yeah,
It's
I-
a
I was
me,
gonna say,
a
there's
Mario.
Mario somewhere.
Those two.
Big fan.
Pac-Man.
And it's so cool that Mario's popular for 7-year-olds again.
Right.
Like I
Yeah.
went with my nephew to see Mario in theaters, and by the end he's jumping up, Mario! Woohoo! I'm like, fuck, same, bro,
I hope-
same.
Yeah.
Okay, I hope the second movie, Wario is the villain.
Oh, and don't get me started. Where's Yoshi? Don't
Yes.
give me a few Yoshis and that's it. Yeah.
And y'all-
I think-
Yeah, 'cause
y'all
that
in the
one,
rabbit
that
holes, I don't
80s
know.
one doesn't count.
Yeah. Oh my God, it definitely counts, dude. That one is crazy.
I like that. Though,
I know,
yeah.
it's kind of
Bob
weird.
Hoskins and John Leguizamo, like that was perfect.
It is a fan classic or a cult classic, I think.
Yeah, cult.
That old Mario, and the people who made it have never heard of Mario. They're just like Yoshi's this disgusting creature, or
Right,
Bowser's like a human. I don't
right.
know. I don't remember.
Dennis Hopper.
It
Yeah.
haunted my dreams when I was a
Monkey.
child.
Well, like Mario's not really known for story, so it's like they kind of had to make stuff up.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I thought was cool about this kid's the cartoon. It was like they put a bunch of fun, basic stories together, but they also didn't break canon. Like it was Mario with all the
Yeah.
fun little gimmicks and
Yeah,
all that.
authentic, not to the original.
They did the accent in their little ad, and like they went meta with it, and they did it's a Mario. But and he's like, do you think we should use that accent or no? Okay, yeah, maybe it's a little too offensive.
Right,
so
a
they
little
covered
bit.
their bases.
I'm Italian. I don't care.
right, right.
Right.
I think it would have been exhausting, but I think it would have been
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah, I remember hearing about like how Charles Martinet got to voice Mario, and it was like just a chance thing too.
Yeah. Oh, his original thing.
Yeah.
Because he's in the movie too. He's Mario's dad.
Oh, I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
I
and
haven't
it
had
doesn't-
a chance to watch the movie. I wanted though.
It's good. I'm nerding
But
out about it. But
I'm gonna wait till there's if I can get the Japanese dub, because that's what I usually watch those.
Tight, dude. He's full Mario dedicated, full Nintendo, in the original intended language. I
Yeah.
respect it.
Yeah,
So-
Y'all
I don't remember
know
how
a
we
lot
got-
about Mario.
Yeah, I don't know how we got to Mario. Someone said, Sonic and all that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
Spyro, the guy from Bare Naked Ladies. No, I
Kevin
jumped
Hearn.
a step. I jumped a step.
yeah.
Either
Ke-
way, that's where we were.
Yeah, so Kevin Hearn really inspired me with the keyboard stuff, and then Sting, not only inspired me to play bass, but just another thing too is I used to hate jazz music, and it was. And then I noticed Sting was like really incorporating jazz
Yeah.
elements into his music, and that's like now I like jazz. So
Dude, yeah, asshole Stuart Copeland can play. He can really do. It's not shuffle. That's more of a blues term. Swing. There it is.
Swing jazz.
Yeah.
I
like-
know things.
that's also where I get like some of my songs. Like I put weird time signatures in there and stuff.
Yeah. How weird do you go?
So I did a song that for my solo career that it's on Spotify, and I do with them too, called Adventure. And I actually have a funny
fair
story
name.
to tell, because there's a few parts where I put 7, 8 time signatures in there.
That's a good
And
one.
there's a part during the second verse where I say we went from 8 to 7 to 6. Well, as soon as I say the word 7, it goes to a 7/8 time signature.
Nice.
And I wish I could say that was my genius, but that was just luck.
No way. That's even better, I think.
Yeah, I just
That's almost better, dude.
it's like one
just
day I was listening to it, I'm like, whoa, what?
Fits, yeah.
It's like the planets aligned on that one.
Not to intentionally bring it back to Mario, but I would have said this anyway if we were talking about weird time signatures. There's a Mario Kart 64 in between the as you race, you know, whether you win or lose, there's an in between results screen, and it's 11-8. It's one of my favorite pieces of all time, and it's the only song I can think of that's 11-8 specifically.
Yeah, there's a
Maybe
Sting
like
did
Tool
one
or
called 7 Days, which is in 5/4, and Vinny Colaiuta just plays the hi-hat in like 4/4. It's really cool. And then Yes does the opposite. They do a song called Long Distance Run Around. It's in 4/4, but the drummer's playing in 5/4. That's like amazing. But
That sounds harder.
yeah.
The other one I can get, just I'm gonna focus on my 4/4 hi-hat.
Yeah.
Real quick to back it up. So Vinny Colaiuta played with Sting solo all the time, or most of the time.
For at
Some of
least
the
as I think from 10 Summoner's Tales and Mercury Falling, which are my 2 favorite albums of all time, and then I think he did Brand New Day, and maybe an album or 2 after that. So
Is that where he's famous from, or previous, or just on his own accord?
I think he's played with other artists before, but I don't remember who.
Okay, I only know him through drummers. I don't know him through music. Vinny Colaiuta, that is.
Yeah, he's really talented though.
Okay, so that's a lot of that gives us the idea. That paints the picture of Nick. Let's move it down the line to Trevor.
So Nick spends a lot of time at the house, I guess.
And like I said, the video game music stuff is also what really influences me too. So.
Yeah.
That's how when we first met him. It was he could play any theme song known to man.
What top 3 video game soundtracks? Before we move on to Trevor.
Oh man, it's a tough one. I like the obscure stuff, so I'll probably just name a few that I've been listening to. There's a Japanese one called Moeru Onisan. That's one that I like. Let's see.
They got that pronunciation too.
Do
you speak Japanese?
A little bit, yeah. I can read
alright.
a good portion of it. I'm gonna try to go there next year.
Tight.
So,
That should be fun.
There's another one I like called there's a good one called JJ and Jeff, which was by Takeaki Kunimoto for the TurboGrafx 16, but it's like a really jazzy soundtrack.
Love it.
So I'd highly rate that one.
I love that new thing with like jazz. There's no new jazz standards, but video games can do new jazz standards, if you will.
Yeah, and then I'd probably have to give my favorite soundtrack to my favorite game of all time, which is the NES version of Pool of Radiance, which was scored by Seiji Toda, who was actually part of the band called Fairchild.
Fair.
So
That's awesome. Fair enough, dude. That's a good shout out right there. It goes all the way through. Talk about encyclopedia.
Yeah.
He's got it. Nick's
I'm like
got
the
it.
video
in him.
game music guy. Yeah.
That's tight, dude. I'm like, get this: Mario, Zelda, Skyrim. The most milquetoast takes you could ever have, but
they're good choices.
Again,
they're not. Yeah, I'm not wrong.
Metal,
Shit's good. Twisted Metal.
that's it, man.
There's
Twisted
going
Metal
to
and
be a
NASCAR
show
98.
of that soon.
I grew
Show of Twisted Metal.
I grew up with
Yes.
Mitchell
Probably
98.
tight. Oh
but-
yeah.
But I love Twisted Metal when I played it.
Twisted Metal was iconic.
Yeah, the Ice
dude.
Cream Man?
What movie is that in? Like 40
Needles, Kane, yeah.
40-year-old virgin. They're playing it or some
Oh, is
shit.
that right? I was watching that last night. Actually.
I saw the
Really?
Japanese. I saw the Japanese version of that. Yeah.
Oh really?
Yeah, that was hilarious.
That's funny. What a coincidence. All right, yeah, let's do it. So when did you start playing guitar? This is my guitar guy now.
Yeah, when the girls started liking it, man, you know.
So like 14.
Yeah,
That's when I started. Right on the nose.
Nah, it was something like that. It was right around.
What'd you say when she
14.
was around 17 years of age? It's a reference to our song.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
reference
the
to one of
lyrics
our
kinda hang me
songs.
a
Sounds like
little
this must be
bit.
one of
Yeah,
them
I need
classic
to-
rock songs they're
we
talking
should
about.
Oh, pretty much.
Massage some of our lyrics a little.
Well, we're hoping it will be one soon.
I do get a little concerned some nights in Seattle when I'm playing some of these songs.
You're like, I hope by raise of hands, how many of you hear the lyrics when you listen to music? Let's see.
Right. It's some of the bad sound quality. Hell yeah. Okay.
Right.
No, I mean we grew up in that age of like the videos were still pretty hot, and I'm a big country guy, and watched a lot of the like CMT, that type of stuff.
Oh, there's your
early
songwriter.
2000s.
That's the
Well,
songwriter quality.
yeah.
Just country music in general.
Just country.
Gotta have a good song.
3 Chords and the Truth, man. I remember watching those videos and just like the energy that was in them, all that Alan Jackson stuff, the George Strait stuff.
Toby
It
Keith.
just, they were always like, it was like a music video, but it was always in a live setting or something. I just
Yeah.
remember thinking, man, that's just so cool.
Well,
you know?
she was always the perfect one, rolling to the
Right.
stadium. I grew up on that
Right,
shit.
exactly.
Alan Jackson, love
Toby
Alan
Keith.
Jackson.
I didn't know. He just like, getting through cancer.
Well,
right now.
here
Yeah.
come knocking on my door, baby.
That's a good country voice. I like that. That was
Right,
good.
That's right.
I want to do one someday.
So he's sick, huh? The old Toby?
Yeah, Toby.
he has like
cancer.
cancer or
Yeah.
something. Like
He
something.
does.
Bummer, dude.
I'm not
Poor
sure
guy.
which type, but he's still. I mean, he's out there doing it right now. But he's come.
God,
down
I
with
love his
something.
voice.
Yeah,
One of my
Toby's
favorite
great.
goat vibratoists of all time.
Yeah, he's so talented.
Right.
Love his voice.
Exactly.
So country music.
Well, yeah, country, and then I've always been kind of driven towards like the Alan Jackson sound.
Love Alan Jackson.
Yeah, that
I
really
have-
compressed,
oh my God.
just
Perfect.
he just
Brent,
lets the
Brent Mason, or whatever.
doing his thing. But before, I remember, just researching Danny Groh, who's his touring guy for long before I ever knew Brent Mason. And
That's a
just
guitar player?
As a
Danny
guitar
Groh?
player, yeah, Danny Groh, who's his,
I'm not familiar.
his road guitarist.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
gotcha.
and so I used to think he did all the writing before I knew Brent.
I didn't realize that. I was the opposite. I assumed that Brent fucking put his pants on and got out on the road with
Oh
Alan.
hell no! Brent gets his
I
coffee
see his,
every morning.
I
and
do
goes
see that.
downtown
I do see that. Social media does look pretty
and sits-
chill.
Yeah, right.
I
yeah.
wouldn't mind that life. I don't
Yeah,
think.
exactly. No, so I was really big into country, and then I actually convinced my parents. I saw Alan Jackson doing the 9/11. Where were you when the world stopped turning?
Yeah.
Right? I said I want a black guitar because it's my birthday. I had no idea what I wanted. And everybody kept asking, "What do you want? What do you want? What do you want?" I said, "Just give me a black guitar," because Alan looked pretty cool up there doing it.
And you're like 12
Oh, I
or
remember that.
13?
I remember
That
that
was about
song.
13. Yeah.
That's the time. dude.
And we went out and we got a black guitar and we brought it home and it sat. It just sat for like a year
most
and a half.
guitars do.
Right. And then we moved. My parents bought a place further out and there's just nothing to do.
And this all Seattle area. This is
Hell,
here.
this is
Well,
back in Virginia.
Oh, Virginia.
Yeah, this is about a
okay.
half hour south
I
of
missed that
Richmond.
part. I
Yeah.
totally missed that. Sorry.
This is back in Virginia.
Oh, right on. So when did you move up this way?
This was 2015.
Oh, right
Yeah,
on.
Seattle,
Okay.
yeah, so like almost going on 10 years.
So let me paint the picture. So you're growing up, country music. Give me the guitar. Alan Jackson is the shit. Your guitar sits there, and then what? And then how do you become a songwriter? How do you?
Well, I remember just not having anything to do, man. In that move, we were just in the middle of nowhere and just going home every afternoon and didn't have shit to do. So we just started. I started just picking up the guitar and learning licks. Just picking stuff up off the radio, Zeppelin stuff.
Hell yeah.
Whatever was on. And then the girls just started liking it too. I was like, okay, we used to learn some like rarities and stuff, and I wrote this for you, and just
Yeah,
kind of
oh,
play
it
that
works.
card,
Absolutely.
absolutely it worked really well. And then it kind of evolved from there. And as I started becoming more and more technical, I started going down, just the rabbit hole of just the great guitarists. And I was always drawn to the guitarists that were able to reinvent themselves. I think one of the most important things is just being able to like always adapt,
Yeah.
at all times, like the Jeff Beck style,
Well, that goes back to what he was saying of know your genres, and it's like
Yeah.
if you know traditional ways to play music, you don't have to do that, but it's good in case
Right.
someone calls on it.
Right.
And then you can be the guy that can do it.
Right,
Who
but
can
it's
hang.
it's the subtleties too that I think are the most impressive things, because like we were talking about earlier, it used to be a lot of like one take and that's all you got, and
Yeah.
there's so many songs, I haven't sat down and actually played a lot of country music in years, but I do remember thinking to myself back when how hard it is to play that slow.
Yeah.
It's hard.
You have to really know rhythm.
It's really challenging to play at a low tempo, and naturally, just in,
confirm that.
in
Absolutely,
any,
drums
in any
especially.
band, it just wants to blow up. Everybody gets faster, and I just listen to like those George Jones tracks, those Waylon Jennings tracks,
Oh my
and
God!
I just
How
think
does
to
George
myself,
sing over those slow ones like the way
Right.
he does? It's like a Bob Ross painting. It's a pain.
Exactly. It's so
have no words.
challenging, and the thing with like George, for example, is like his guys. You'll listen to a George Jones song, and he'll cross through 5 different keys
Dude,
from the start to the finish. Right? It's just like they'll morph, and you almost don't even notice.
Right.
That they
And his
just went
range
through
is
5
nutty.
keys. Yeah.
He actually has a legit singer's range because of that deep.
Exactly.
And he's high voice. He can go high.
Right.
Of course, it's going to be the one vowel.
Right.
But, love you and you.
That's right. There it is. I like that.
But like, it's so perfect.
Yeah. Right.
I don't care what your tone is. If you're hitting the notes and you're doing the subtleties,
Yeah.
like you can almost have a whatever tone. Smashing Pumpkins,
Right.
not a great tone
Right.
by any standard.
Right. Yeah,
but I like
authentic.
listening to it because he's good. He sings the
Right,
notes.
yeah,
I don't know.
Absolutely.
I don't know if
Absolutely.
that's just my take.
So does Smashing Pumpkins refer to the act of taking gourds and smashing them
Exactly.
to bits?
It's not a great sound. That's how it's going to say.
Or is it? I know they're British, so it's like smashing as in good.
They're smashing. Yeah, they're smashing, but yeah.
Smashing.
No, I love the Smashing Pumpkins. And Billy Corgan's a great singer, but his voice is aggressive.
Yeah. It is.
But it's in tune. It does the singer things.
No, it's beautiful. It's hard. If I wish we could find a voice like that.
Right.
How many people get them and Smash Mouth confused?
Oh my God! I actually saw
crazy.
Smash Mouth live back in 2008.
I saw them twice.
This was
Which
actually
would have been way after they
this
were
was
cool.
after their 15 minutes, but before they became a meme.
Right,
Oh my
so-
God! Even when they played All Star, no one cared. People were still getting snacks, going to the bathroom,
was bad?
smoking.
They've
They
always
were
been
like
bad,
a bar
yeah.
band. Okay, but
So-
Trevor,
so they
that's,
have-
that's,
like us.
no, we're better.
I'm in
than
a bar
Smash
band
Mouth.
too. I wish I was,
on, man.
but they have the name. No, I've seen videos and they suck. But why are their albums good?
Somebody
Right.
once
'Cause they have
told
good
me the
players.
world
Yeah.
is gonna roll.
Yeah, good
Yeah,
players.
the album. I mean, that music's kind of cool. It's got that little flat 5 in the chorus or whatever.
Who's this?
yeah.
The Smash
All
Mouth
Star.
song.
Yeah.
All Star.
yeah.
It's not-
That song's just a meme nowadays.
Right.
It's the Shrek song.
It's yeah,
Right.
dude. I close.
you doing in my swamp?
Dude, he goes full Shrek. I was gonna say I end all my sets with "I'm a Believer" and it always crushes.
nice.
It doesn't matter if there's 3-year-olds or 90-year-olds. Everyone knows that song.
Right. Yeah, I watch a lot of Shrek now. I got a 1-year-old, so
Yeah.
we just
Shrek's
moved. We
good
just moved
Shrek.
off of Shrek. Actually, that was about a 3-week run.
Yeah. So George
You're
Jones.
expecting Prince Charming. I'm not anybody's messenger. I'm a delivery boy.
He is an encyclopedia. Unless he
Oh,
just
yeah.
watches
He knows his
Shrek all the
shit. Yeah,
time.
he does. His shit.
No, I'm just.
I don't talk
funny.
anymore. But
I'm just
I
hilarious.
embarrass
No, go
myself.
ahead. It's your turn to talk, Trevor. Go ahead.
It's your spotlight.
I embarrass myself. No, I mean, yeah, I've always. I mean,
Oh.
there's a smorgasbord of stuff.
We need to go from acoustic to electric. Like play or what? Like do you play electric guitar?
I always had an electric. My brother had an electric guitar,
Mm-hmm.
little Johnson guitar that I messed around with.
Mm-hmm,
But I mean, there's, and that's another thing too. I just remember opening up Pandora's box and then going down the rabbit hole. My dad was a
Yeah.
huge Stones fan. Keith Richards turned me on to riff-based rock and roll. That's where I first realized that, like, you don't need to be out there shredding and playing fast and doing all these. No, one thing you'll notice with just about every song that is in our playlist is it's a riff-based
Tight.
number.
I
It's a-
love riffs.
it's-
We're
it's-
big fans of riffs here at BandHouse Studio.
a lot,
BandHouse
of, lot of
podcast.
sliding double stops, a little quick intros, and then it's just 3 chords in the truth in
That's
between.
right.
And that's
right.
intentional. That's intentional because it's what I've been doing for years. And then just like I said, you go to Stones, you go to Chuck Berry, Louis Jordan, and like it's just like you open up that box and you start uncovering all of these wonderful players. Lenny Brayu is probably one of my probably my favorite guitarist of all time, just because
Jazz or
he does it all, and that's he's like a derivative, like Jimmy Reed or something,
sure,
like
a
it's
guitar player, a real one.
a real, absolutely. He's one of those sad endings where he just kind of drunk himself to death, and all that type of thing. But he kind of the unspoken guitar hero of the jazz underbelly. I guess. Lenny Bray.
Lenny Bray.
Yeah.
For me, my guitar hero was Steve Vai.
Yeah,
Steve Vai,
Steve Vai. I just read an article about how he said that he feels bad about not letting Devin Townsend do more in his band. Apparently, he had Devin Townsend in his band, was just like, you play this guitar. And then and now Devin Townsend's like this crazy, renowned metal guy. And he's like, I should have fucking.
I don't play guitar, but if I had to name my favorites, it would be Mark Knopfler, Lindsey
Excellent.
Buckingham, and
Excellent.
Alex Lifeson.
Excellent. Those are all players.
The
man.
latter I got to see twice.
Really?
Yes, I've seen Rush twice. Rest in peace, Neil.
Yeah, dude. I saw him the once.
Yeah.
I wasn't even a fan. It's the first concert I've been to that I wasn't even a fan. Like I was like almost. It was almost like I didn't like Rush.
Right.
And then, but I was like, for free,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
And I became a fan, and I've
Converts
listened to
you.
him ever since. I was
When-
like, never been
what-
converted live.
What tour was this? Around when was it?
2000. Let me think. Like 5 or 6 or 7. Or,
Yeah, I saw them in 07 and in 15.
It, like, was that White River? Was that right? White River Amphitheater? Or
That's
the
where
Gorge?
I saw Smash Mouth.
Gorge.
It might have been the
In
Gorge.
Eastern Washington.
Wait, you saw him at White River?
Yeah.
First time I saw
I
them was
saw
at
them
the
at
Verizon Wireless Amphitheater in San Antonio, which is no longer around. And the
Tight.
second time was at the Modus Center in Portland.
Tight.
Yeah, I think the best concert I've been to, I can't remember if it was 2014, 2012, but it was Sting and Peter Gabriel, the Rock, Paper, Scissors tour at the Key Arena. It'll always be Key Arena to me, but that wasn't the best part.
What's it now? It's something else.
It's
huh?
Climate
Climate
Pledge.
Pledge Arena.
Amazon owns this whole
I've heard of
state.
Climate Pledge.
So
Yeah.
I kind of thought that was the Mariners sold it again or whatever.
the cool part about the concert was when they did Driven to Tears and then they did Red Rain. Guess who came out? Eddie Vedder.
Oh shit! I was not gonna guess any better. I was
Yeah,
like,
it's like-
digging deep, and I wouldn't have got there.
Eddie Vedder, man. It's like
Local.
that was
That's
awesome.
tight. Yeah, everybody loves when Eddie shows up. Okay, why don't we pop over to
Me,
to
Dominic.
Dave?
Dave, Dominic, whatever.
Davey Dom.
So I picked up drums when I was about 12, and there's actually it's kind of complicated because there's two sort of works of fictions that inspired that. But let's dial back to when I was about 6. That's when my father introduced me to the Beatles. Back around the year 2000, he had the Beatles 1 CD. From the time I was about 6 till I was about 12, the Beatles were my favorite band because I literally didn't know anyone else.
I didn't have a favorite band at 6, so you're already beating me.
And of course Ringo Starr, he was naturally the first well-known drummer I knew, and I grew up on Shining Time Station and Thomas and Friends, which he was the narrator for at one point.
Oh, really?
So that definitely inspired it, and I remember my father pointing that out to me when I was real little, but I didn't really quite get what he meant by that.
Yeah.
And so that was an influence. And I'm also a fan of Diary of a Wimpy Kid. The books, not the god-awful movies.
Good.
But
Who's got
the main character's brother, Roderick, who's actually my favorite character, drums in a band called Loaded Diaper. And that was another thing that kind of... I'm pretty sure that's meant to be a Def Leppard reference.
Dominic was
But when I was 12, long story short, when I was
like, no.
12, I picked up drums because of Ringo Starr and Roderick Heffley.
I was actually going to ask though. Do you like the Archies though?
We were just talking about this.
Yeah, that's why I was asking.
I was definitely more into the comics when I was like 10, 11. If I had to pick a favorite like pretend band, it would have to be Gorillaz. I saw them way back in 2010 on the Escape to Plastic Beach
They
tour.
notoriously rock live.
I also play a bit of melodica. You know what that is?
Yeah, with the two.
When I first heard them on the record, I thought that was a harmonica.
Yeah.
Then when I saw them live and Damon takes out his melodica, like 16-year-old me is like, I don't know what that is, but I need one.
Yeah,
I'll be looking
I
for
got
that
a little
now.
green
When I saw
one.
Steely Dan, Donald Fagen was playing one.
I've been trying to think of a way to
So
incorporate
cool.
it
I
into
need to
this
get
band
one.
somehow. They're not very expensive. You can get a pretty good one from Hohner for about $50.
I have one on my
tight.
keyboard.
That's
Yeah.
tight. Yeah. I know. That's kind of the bummer of technology these days is everything in this room I don't need. Drums, programs, guitars. Well, the guitars maybe, but I probably just need 1 or 3, not 78 or whatever. And amps. I don't need amps.
Yeah.
Do you guys use amps? Do you use guitar
I
amps?
got 1 amp.
Tubes.
Tube amp.
I know,
Box
you're a tube
AC30.
guy.
Yep.
But that's, But people be not using it these days.
Nah.
And it's like,
Yeah, they just plug in. And
I
go,
still do
right?
it, but like the
Yeah.
other day I was driving, took a sharp turn, amp slammed against the thing, amp broke.
Oh no, you gotta get the.
Like now what am I
Gotta
gonna
get a
do?
case, yeah, for your amp.
That's what
Coulda, shoulda, and
Yeah,
woulda.
guitarists and bassists, they always have a bunch of guitars, a bunch of amps. It's like
Yeah.
I have one drum set.
Yeah, I even have 3
my
drum kits.
I have my
Tama.
I have my Tama Club Jam pancake and a Octopad, and like everything does. And that does everything.
all you need.
It's not much, but it gets the job done.
Absolutely.
It's just the turnaround time. It shows like you don't have time to
Yeah.
set up and stuff. And we tried that in the past with like the wireless gear and everything.
Oh my
You don't have
God.
time for that. You
Well,
know,
we're
I
looking to
think
get an IEM set up.
Even just
eventually.
putting your pedal board is like that much extra stuff.
it is. Yeah, I feel like most of the venues now preference backlining. You know, like we
Yeah,
always
yeah.
whoever goes on last, they just provide the amp for everyone. You know.
Yeah.
And it seems to work out pretty well.
I would do that. I would let them use my amp.
I mean, if it
I
works,
put myself as a
if
head.
it works,
in
it
this,
works.
I'm the headliner in this hypothetical.
At our upcoming show, we sort of made a gear deal. I contribute the drum set for all 3 bands to use. They provide amps for these 2.
That's great. That's really helpful. So you're 12. You're learning drums. You've got these inspirations. One of them's super real, and the other one is fictional.
Yes.
I didn't mean
I
for
guess,
that to sound like a roast. I just didn't know if I heard that correctly.
That pretty much, yeah. And
First band. When did you join a band? When did you?
not officially till much later. I grew up in like a lot of my middle school years were in rural Texas.
Oh,
Not
that's
fun
right.
for music.
That's right.
I think my first actual kind of band was in high school in Minnesota, but we never played any gigs. It was just a screw around group in a basement, pretty much. But
So you moved around a lot.
yeah, growing up, I'm from Eastern Washington.
Oh, okay. Right on.
I'm from Kennewick.
Really?
Yeah, I'm from dry shitties. I couldn't get out here to this side quick enough.
Dude, I bet. Yeah. I'm
Yeah,
a fan.
Rattlesnakes.
I'm a fan, but I'll get back here pretty quick.
Where I lived in Texas for 8 years, I never seen a rattlesnake
Is
in
that
the wild.
right, man?
I seen a
Wow.
copperhead. There was a copperhead in our
Yeah, the
garage
copper's
one
there.
day when I was about 9.
Yeah.
My
Oh,
old man
shit.
took an ice pick and lobbed that thing's head off.
That's formative memory, bro. That's like
Oh, yeah. He actually.
He'll
I was
never forget
inside.
that.
I was inside one evening. He's like Dominic, come out here to the garage. He's like, because I knew a lot about snakes. He's like, what kind of snake is that?
Yeah.
And I was like, that's a copperhead. He's like, are you sure that's not a coral snake? I'm like, I can go get the book I have and show
Well,
it
what
to
would
you.
be the difference if it was a coral snake?
Coral
Don't
snake
stab
coral snake would be way deadlier for one.
Oh, so definitely stab it?
Okay.
Or
well-
definitely run.
They're not. Both corals and copperheads are pretty small. You can take them down with a shovel. You could take it down with a broom if you wanted to.
That's your encyclopedic knowledge started with snakes.
yeah, and that's something I was into as a kid.
That
but
seems like a kid thing. My brother's with dinosaurs in general. But
that's all kids. Come on.
yeah, he held on to it a little longer.
I'm on Google, you know.
Shout out to Cameron.
But I'd say. But yeah, for drumming, that's when I was about. I kind of took a few-year break. Didn't really get back into it till I was about 16, 17. And that's when I really got serious.
So you just practice to albums? Do you have a drum kit at 12?
Yeah, I had an Alesis DM5. It was a
Plug-in?
electronic. Yeah, I don't. Except for my Octopad, I don't deal with electronic drums anymore.
For sure.
Unless it's like a rolling one with actual mesh heads, I don't deal with
That's
that.
funny that drummers could start electric and then graduate to acoustic, and guitar players.
Well, it
it's
depends.
generally
Like
the other way
the
around.
cheap electronic sets are bullshit.
Yeah, I have 2 of them.
Yeah.
I've never plugged them in. A lot of stuff was given to me, so it's like,
Yeah, and
and
that's
I don't know
nice.
what to do. So get ready for some BandHouse giveaways coming up soon. You want a drum set? Fucking put your name down below. I'll ship you the damn shit. Split the shipping even. Let's do it.
I'd say I remember when I was 12, I actually wanted to write a full quote unquote concept album. It was that age I got introduced to like Pink Floyd and Rush and stuff.
This all seems on brand
It was
so far.
it was the one I wanted to write. It was about a water park.
Okay.
When we lived in San Antonio, it's
So
sadly,
hot.
it's sadly closed down, but there used to be a water park there called Splash Town. That was kind of the inspiration. That idea is long and dead, but we're not playing it tonight. But I think the best song I've ever written is called Blue World.
Yeah.
It's one of your guys' songs now?
Yes,
Oh, yeah,
but
'cause the concept
the
sounds
story
similar.
the story behind how that came to be. So back in the long ago year of 2002, remember that year?
No,
I
kind
thi-
of. Yep.
Yeah, I was about 8. My sister was 4. We were at the mall with our folks. They were at Sears getting stuff. You don't see a lot of. I actually worked at Sears at one point, but there's not a lot of those
I think
anymore.
I did see one recently enough to like
So
be
did
like,
my
what
dad.
the fuck is that?
But mom and dad, I think, were getting shoes or house stuff or whatever. My sister and I wanted to go into the mall area that was attached.
Yeah.
It was some mall down in San Antonio. I'm not sure which one it was. This particular one, like the lights, the walls, the floors all had a blue tint to it.
Okay.
So my
Sounds
sister and
fancy.
I, we called it the Blue World.
Of course.
And I think our dad was like, "What are you kids talking about?" when we mentioned it. And when he figured it out, he couldn't stop laughing. And he's a bass player extraordinaire. He's written plenty of songs, been in plenty of bands.
Wait,
Yeah.
who? Your dad?
Yes, my father.
Didn't you say your dad was a bass player?
No.
Oh, I must have misheard the
Yeah,
voices.
but
I heard someone say that
he
earlier.
actually said, Blue World, that sounds like a song idea. Then like about 18 years later, the song really isn't about that. That's just
Sure.
kind of where the main title came
It's kind
from.
of cool though. It's
I
cool.
thought you were
I
gonna
was
say-
also thinking of I'm blue dabba dee
Of course.
dabba.
Songs
I
about
thought
blue.
you were going to say your dad stole it from you.
No.
Yeah.
And funny, I actually mentioned this to him. He actually remembered that incident.
Wow.
Funny.
I don't know if my sister does. I'd have to ask her about that.
Yeah. Was it a bar? Was that what it was? Or
The
what
Blue
was
World?
Sears.
No,
it was in
it was
Sears.
the
It was in a
Sears.
mall.
It was the mall area, like with all the shops, the big. Yeah,
Oh, it was
that
in the mall
particular
area.
one,
Oh,
like
okay.
it had like blue lights and walls.
Gotcha.
My sister and I were 8 and 4, so we just called it the Blue World.
Beautiful.
Our dad was like, "The Blue World? What are you kids on about?"
Beautiful. And so is that one off? Is that a song in a concept album?
No.
okay.
That concept. That was just something just a 12-year-old me thought of. It's not.
Sure.
So the thing-
Yeah.
I mean, I
Dominic,
might salvage some ideas from it.
we got plenty of time. Yeah.
Dominic
What?
always has an idea.
Dude.
I guess.
He's the
Dominic,
idea guy.
He has a new idea every
I feel
rehearsal.
you. I have a
I guess.
bajillion ideas.
Yeah, for
This podcast is the only one that I've followed through on.
I mean, I'm writing a quadrilogy of books right now.
Quadrilogy.
Well, technically, it's sort of there's going to be
You're
3.
not gonna write a book first?
Well, let me explain. There's 3 books that are a trilogy. One that's its own thing. It takes place. It's like The Hobbit,
Yeah.
then the Lord of the Rings trilogy. You know how that kind of works?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's sort of
That's
like
what you're going for. So you're a
kind-
writer.
In some ways, yes.
Like you get down there and you write.
When I can be asked to do it.
Sure. Yeah. I feel that. I feel that.
Or when my cat doesn't want to get on my goddamn keyboard.
Oh, let's go to. Oh, what was I gonna say? I want to keep going, but I only have so much memory card, and I want to make sure we have all the cameras for you guys' performance. But before we wrap it up, when did you join your first band?
This was probably like 2011, 2012, if you could even call
And
it a
then what
band.
kind of music was that? With if we had to put a label, which we always do.
18-year-old screwing around in a basement.
Yeah, basement rock. You say
Yeah, basically that.
basement band.
I think we called ourselves the Cliff Divers at some point.
Respect. That's like what this podcast is like. At the heart of it is the BandHouse. It's the band,
Yeah.
garage band, essentially.
Right.
Pretty much.
There's that app, so we didn't want to call it garage band.
yeah,
Yeah, we don't need the ghost of Steve Jobs suing us.
Yeah. Somehow BandHouse was kind of fine. There's like some other stuff, but nothing really.
Right.
So I was like, oh, taking it. We've made a sign. Took it. I think that's
there it
legal. I
is.
think that holds up.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
That's
the
not true.
first band I was in, Waking Maya, the lead singer was Savannah Woods, and she's been like on The View and stuff. She's got a really great voice.
Sounds
and
familiar.
yeah,
I don't know if I've heard.
And I remember when we were recording in the studio, Jason Shavey was a great producer, but because I did this at the shows, but we did a song called like Not Afraid, and it starts out with piano and then it goes to bass. Normally you just track them separately, and I just played them all in the same take.
Yeah.
So I was like reaching over my bass, playing the piano, and it's
Oh my God.
pretty funny.
That's wild, dude. Question before we end this thing. 31 Nights is an October Nights reference?
Kind of a. Do you guys care if I explain the
Let's
name,
go
the
for
name
it. Go
history?
for it.
Okay,
Let's
so
end on the name history.
Yeah.
That'd be a good place to.
for it.
okay,
Yeah.
so when it was Trevor, Aram, and Layla, and Layla's a whole nother story. It's a running joke for Trevor and I.
Actually, Layla, can you come in right now? We've got Layla here.
Yeah, she's crazy. But we called ourselves the Somethings. Then when that imploded, the name we first came up with was End of September.
I don't
But-
remember that.
I think our old bassist and I talked about it, but the problem is there is a band with that name.
Okay.
So we thought September, October. So October Nights, and then once you know it, there
sidestep.
is a band with that name. So when October Nights as a 4-piece imploded and the three of us regrouped, we just picked 31 Nights.
Lots of implosions.
Is
Yeah,
it an
for real.
explosion or an
We're not all
implosion?
charred
It's
right now.
it's honestly this. Is there really a difference in our case?
Yeah, right?
I guess.
So yeah, Halloween.
I guess
Halloween, yeah.
Well, we're actually
Well, it's
looking
a
to
good-
do a
it's a good-
Halloween show this year.
Yeah, that'd be tight. Like
Indeed,
on Halloween, yeah.
Where we're thinking of playing like Dead Man's Party, Ghostbusters, Monster Mash,
Yeah,
songs like
Ghostbusters rips.
Oh, you mean I want a new drug?
Dude, I
That's
love.
Huey
Well, we
Lewis
actually
sued
wouldn't
them
mind if
for-
we could find like a couple horn players to join us for like a Dead Man's Party. That'd be cool.
dude, Halloween gigs
I
are like the
struck by
only
lightning,
cool-
walking down the street.
what do you call it? Holiday gigs. Like
Right.
Christmas,
I know.
you do your jazz. You
Yeah,
gotta do
no,
jazz. You
yeah.
gotta do it a
Halloween's
certain
where
way.
it's at,
But
yeah.
Halloween, you can rock,
Oh yeah,
Right.
Christmas it's all like jazz and choral.
and you don't even need Halloween songs. Like
Little
it could be like just songs in B minor or
you want.
whatever.
Yeah, you dress
Right.
up, you wear the outfit, you know. Yeah, no,
He did
Halloween's
the
a fun-
mash, he did the monster.
Dude,
mash.
I would do the monster.
I know,
Mash.
we
think I've
got
sang
to
it
do
before.
that one.
I've sang it before, but as the I don't know if I could. I was working in the lab. I don't know if I could commit to that for a full song. That'd be
might
tough.
Nick could.
He's like, yeah, I'll do it.
Nick will do it.
I could see it.
Yeah, that's a funny thing. When I first joined, because I didn't sing in the last band, they're like, "Oh, we want you to sing these songs." I'm like, "I got a terrible voice." They're like, "Well,
What?
just try it," and then I
Now you have
did,
the
and then
best
they're
voice?
like, "Dude, your voice is awesome." It's like,
That's like Will Ferrell in that
like, what do you-
movie.
in Step Brothers.
He won't sing for anybody.
Step Brothers.
So you didn't even know you were good, though.
Yeah.
It's the opposite in this case. So 31 Nights is the name now. It could be 30 Nights if there's a 31 Nights and we don't know about it yet.
Yeah.
Changed.
Yeah,
Or whatever changed. Right
Yeah,
now
we
it's
know.
31
Bias.
Nights. You guys got stuff on Spotify?
Nick does. Nick's got
I have my
his,
own solo thing,
his
but-
solo-
We
We'll
have
put-
a
we'll
Facebook,
put a link to that
a
before.
YouTube, and an
Below.
Instagram. I will shoot you some links.
All the
later
links
on.
you send me, I will put down in the description and on the screen right here.
Absolutely.
Gigs coming up, and by coming up, it's like August 9th or something. And this will be
Well, it'll be after. Well, it'll be after then. I guess the next show that's by the time this is posted will have already happened is going to be a Bad Bar.
and it was
Oh,
dope.
this coming for a couple like yeah, it hasn't even happened yet,
Yeah,
but I guess
it's
it was
dope.
dope.
But it will. I
If
want
you're
people to
saying
see
this,
this, you
if
know?
you're saying
We're-
this, it has happened,
Went
and
over
it
time-
was sick.